I'm Connie Nieto, one of your Miami trainers. And guess what? I am happy it's Monday today. It's beautiful out. It is a nice time to be out there. So if you're taking a class and sitting outside, let us know. I love that you're sharing some zip codes. I'm going to go ahead and use those during our class. Today's class is Matrix 201, your multiple listing service 201. But I do want to get started by letting you know that everything real estate begins with miamirealtors.com, your page for everything. And we do have some mid-year conference information here on a commercial. So if you're interested, you can click here and sign up. I always want to remind you of different things that are going on. And it's important for me to share that April is Fair Housing Month. And we do have 30 days of tips. And today is the 11th. So today's tip is do not retaliate against, threaten, or act in any manner to intimidate someone. He or she, they, has exercised his, her, their rights under the Fair Housing Act. I always like to share these with you. Don't know if you knew that April is Fair Housing Month. Of course, coming back to that main page to get started, we're going to click through to the Miami Gateway. How many of you know that we have a dedicated MLS page? How many of you are signed up for the entire series of MLS classes? 101, 201, 301, 401, 501. We're going to click to the Miami Gateway, and that's going to bring us here to the Gateway dashboard. Excellent. I think it was a switch. I'm glad that you let me know. All righty, now let's go ahead and get started. This second class is about contact management. It's about auto email. It is about doing a search and saving it. If you came to the first class, we went into searching, but I want to start here and I want to give you a little run through. In the My Matrix area, you have your save searches, and here's your contact area. We're going to come again and do a search. And some of you have given me zip codes. I'm going to use several of them today, but I want to go over and explain a couple of these to you. So residential rentals right now are very hot, and we have a class dedicated to rentals if you're interested. Residential incomes are duplex, triplex, fourplexes, right? Residential land bone docs, and then we have commercials. Did you know that we have a commercial MLS class? I'm mentioning this to you because if you're interested in Resi Commercial, you should take one of those. But I do want to come into here really quick and do an RE1, RE2, and we're going to do one for here and one for rental so that we can do two searches for you to save as an auto email. We're going to come in and do an RE1, RE2, and I'm going to take, Pedro, you were the last one. I'm going to use your 33139, right? And we're going to come in and we're going to do a search, and we're going to probably search maybe for an investor. So we're going to take active and we're going to look at closed, right? And in that area, Pedro, 33139, would we be looking for single family, condo? What is it that you're looking for? And I want to go ahead and put the 33139 here. So you want condos. So we're going to select condo and condo. Any price range that you're looking for? Alrighty. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put, just to see, 600,000 or less. Alrighty, you see we're thinking on the right set. 500,000 or less. Charmaine will do more, I promise. 500,000 or less. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to do 3 bedrooms or less and see what we got. And there's 886 matches, 2 or less in baths, right? And let's put 3 plus. Let's see what happens when we do that. That's right. And we have 1 match, 3 matches, and that's fine. I just wanted to see, right? And we're going to come and we're going to click on results. So my customer is looking in this area, right? And this is what I'm getting. Okay. But I want to come to the map a little bit, and I want to use the map to my favor. Yes. I'm still recording last week, so I had a couple of things to do, but I will be editing this afternoon. I'm hoping to go back in and edit. And at the end, I want to show you where it is that I will be putting them, okay? I want to share the playlist with you. So Cheryl, will you remind me? All righty.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Here I have the map, and notice that it's an area here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom a little out. Now, this is the beach, right? I can see it. We're coming off the causeway. Here's the Venetian. Here's Alton. Here's the area that we're looking at, right? And I can switch it and I can have it on a map view. And some of us have this as the offset where we come in and we see the map view. And then some of us can switch it and we have a satellite view. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. And the reason I like to zoom in is many of us, when we zoom in and we start to see rooftops, we know exactly what we're looking at. Okay. So you can navigate using the rooftops, etc. All righty. The other thing that I like to do is note, okay, so these are the areas and these are the buildings, right? So I can come into here and I can actually draw a radius if I choose from a point and do a distance from that point. And now my search will be from that point, not just the zip code. I can delete or exclude the shape. I deleted it. What if there was an area here that my customer says, I'm not interested in that area? I can come into here and without knowing, I'm just going to come in. I'm going to do a little polygon to show you. You can put one point with your mouse, put another point with your mouse, another point, another point. And your customer can tell you, and you close it, this area, I'd like to exclude it. So you would come back to the red dot, right? And you could click to exclude. And now that you're doing that, you're excluding that area from your search. Okay. You can also, with a map, do a couple of other things. Okay. I'm going to come in and I'm going to show you that. Switching back to the map view, I can come in with a freehand polygon, decide to draw. And let's say that I also wanted to go ahead and come over here and draw. I could. And I can also come back and clear all the shapes by just doing that. And I would come back and have my originals. There is a lot that you can do with a map. So since you were helping me, Pedro, with the area, can you tell me a reference point here that you would like? Maybe South Point Park or something, because I'd like to show you how you could jump to an address or an area. Of course, I asked you and then I gave you a reference, but it was because I couldn't think of one when I asked. But go ahead and give me something if you would like. I'd like it to be in the area. Okay, so Flamingo Park. Well, here I am typing it on the chat. I want you to see it here. What is this good for? This jump to an address. I want you to think out of the box with it. Have you ever met someone or you're talking to someone that you're in real estate, or you let them know that you're a realtor, or you discuss real estate with someone, and the first thing that they tell you is, or you're at a place and they say, I love it here. Or they tell you, I just went to see my friend. What a great area. I'd love to live there. So quiet. It was peaceful. I love it. And you're like, really? Well, I can help you look, and if they would just give you the reference point, or, oh, I was just by so-and-so park. I loved it. What a great place to live. That reference you can use in here into the jump to the address. You can use this for a school name. You can use this like Pedro just did to gain me a park name. So I'm going to come into here and type Flamingo Park and click enter. And you see how it marks it? This is what you call a pinpoint. It's a reference mark. Now, what could I use this for? Well, I might want to know how far, the park is, maybe from the place I'm looking to live at, right? Or maybe the distance from there to the beach, or maybe that's the place of reference that my customer has said that they were interested in. So you can always come and do what? Mark it as a place of reference. You like that? Or they'll tell you, I'm interested in this area. That will help you mark it on the map and see where it is. You can pin it here. So if we were looking and we wanted to see the distance maybe from this building here, the ones available to this, do you see the little ruler here on the left-hand side that I'm marking up? Everyone see it? The little ruler?
Yes.
All righty, Marcel's the only one. Valeria sees it too. I'm going to click on this ruler, and that will allow me to mark it from here to the point of the park. And I now have the distance of 0.73 miles. 0.73 miles. That's the distance from the building to the park. Do I do it again? Let me delete the shape. I'm going to come and use my mouse. I'm going to click on the ruler. And I'm going to do it from this one, from this point to the park, 0.9 miles. All right. Watch. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. I hover over, I delete. And I'm going to do it again. Ruler, select the building, and come 0.76 miles. I'm going to come again and delete. Now watch this from the beach, just an example. Watch, I'm going to click the Flamingo Park. I'm going to remove it. Okay. I'm going to come to the pinpoint here and delete the location marker. You see where it says jump to address? Marcela?
Yes. Is that always going to appear, that field?
This is part of the map. This is why I love the map, because people will tell you reference points. I love this mall. I like this vicinity. I want my kid to go to ABC school. I love, well, right, that they'll tell you that, or they'll give you an address. They'll give you, my friend lives here. I want to live nearby. And you're wondering how to add that element to your search.
Okay, thanks.
So you come in here and you click Flamingo Park and you're there. You see? So then from there, if that's a point of reference for them, when you're telling them and you're discussing with them, you can say that, well, this condo is 0.76 miles from the park, and this one is 0.9. So you were telling me you like to walk, so you could get almost 2 miles there and back, and you could get 0.76 from here and back. Do you see how you could incorporate it? You know what they like. They've told you this because they'll give you that kind of info, right? But they won't tell you the beds and the baths and the square footage they want. So I like that jump field. You can use it for a school and use it for out of the box thinking. Like they'll give you tidbits of information like, oh, I love it here. I love the place. Oh, I just went to this magnificent place, or I just, we just went to this great event and it was in a wonderful area. Well, what area was it? What was the address where you went? What was the name of it? So, and you can use that jump field to get to it. Okay. Next that I wanted to show you, of course, we're going to talk about doing an auto email here. So I was looking for a property in this area and I just wanted to reference the point. So we're going to come to the results, right? And if you noticed, these were all for sale. There's none here that's active. And that's something that's happening right now, correct? Because there's not a lot of properties for sale. So I could be working with someone and trying to let them know, currently, there's nothing available in the market, but I want you to see what has sold in the last 6 months so you get a feel for what's happening. And I also want to tell you what's coming up. So what I'm going to do is send an automatic email to you to let you know what's happening, right, in that area of your interest. So you click to the results, right? And I'm wondering why this one's coming up when it's so off on the price. So we're going to come to our criteria. I'm going to put 500,000 or less again. Condo co-op. Alrighty. And we're going to go ahead and click save. And this time, last time when I taught you how to new save search. This time we're going to click new auto email. In the auto email, if you created a contact, they're already here. If you have not created a contact, you would click to create a contact, and you know that you just need a first name, last name, or email address to create one, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put here. And then what happens if you know the person's email, right? But what happens if you know them? You're not going to send a super formal. You can enter a salutation for them, right? This depends on what you're working with, why I chose closed. Maybe it's someone who is an investor who wants to see what properties are already selling at. Does that make sense, Valeria? So they're gauging at what the prices are to see if they sell. I want the MLS is for you. And I try to show you different ways for you to use it. Does that make sense? So what if this investor that you're working with is trying to see if his property gets to a certain point in the market for them to be able to sell? And you don't want to have to look every day to see if the market is where it needs to be. You want to work smart, not hard. Is that what everybody wants? So what you're making is the system work with you, not against you. Okay. Of course, you can come in and you can show all the additional fields and put in all the other info. Remember that the information regarding contacts in the MLS belongs to you. So you can put in notes. Those notes would be for you, your subject matter. Ingrid, what do you mean with your own email? Because when you send to yourself, the system now knows. And here you have a setup, the message that goes out, your email signature, which we did in the first one, right? Criteria of what you selected. Concierge mode is a method that would allow you to decide what goes to the customer or not, right? And it'll automatically add you a notification by email if you want, or you could have it so the system automatically sends to the customer, sends on a daily basis when you choose, in the morning or afternoon on the date you choose, or on a monthly basis. So you have concierge as soon as possible, daily on the day and times you choose, and monthly. And then you click on save. And here you have what you've sent out. You've created an auto email. For Ingrid, for those to work appropriately, they used to work correct before. You need to be able to open them and work on them. And it does become an issue because the system knows that it's for you. So we can talk a little bit about that offline if you'd like, to make sure that it's working for you, but you can create as many auto emails as you like. Now, I wouldn't create thousands because I don't know that that's effective because it would be bombarding you, but you could do your farm area, sure. And you remember that you have 10 favorite searches for you to use on your homepage. And that way you'll always know what's new. Okay, next, that was one. Now, Charmaine had sent me a zip code 33073. So I'm going to come into another search there. We're going to do another auto email. Charmaine, tell me the zip code 33073. 33. And what are we looking for there? I'll show you in a minute how to edit it. We're going to take care of creating a couple first. All right. Charmaine, what are we looking for in that area? 33073.
A 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
A single family, condo, townhouse, villa.
Sorry, single family.
Single. All righty. And we're going to look this time just for active and active with contract. And we're going to talk about a little bit about those. Active with contracts means that they're still showing the property. And though they have accepted an offer, they're accepting backup offers. Why do you think people do that? You guys can share in the chat why you think. And you were telling me 3+, 2+. Any price range that we're looking for?
400,000.
or less or more?
Or more.
Alrighty, so we have 31 available. Oh, Valeria, that would be cheating and telling. You need to come to our 401 class. But single family homes are non-attached homes. Townhouses and villas are just a little different, and townhouses are attached, right? Yes, well, that's not the only reason, James, but that's a good one. They didn't get the full deposit. I don't know about that, but if you look, and that's the reason you come through the 5 parts, active with contract means that they've accepted an offer, but they're still accepting backup offers. And that sometimes happens because what happens if the offer falls through? So you may be right, James, and I like that we're sharing that. And that means that they're still shown. Okay, if it says active or active with contract, they're still shown. So we're looking for single. We have 31 matches, and we're going to come to the map here and look at the area that it brings us to. And we're going to go ahead and zoom in. And here we're going to do a little different search on the map. You're getting 21 available, and I had 31. In my criteria field, I put 3 plus 2 plus for 33073. And I had active and active with contract, single and single. You got it, Gustavo? Awesome. What do you mean by vouchers? Is that rentals? Are you talking about Section 8? Caprice, I'm going to send you to take a tutorial that there is a Miami Realtors Live. We do not talk about Section 8. There's no mention of Section 8, but we do have a tutorial that explains it, provided by a young professional. All right. So towards the end, you need to remind me and I'll show you where it's at. Okay. All righty. Let's continue to the map because I have so much to show you here. Thank you for bringing me to a residential area that has subdivisions. So now I want to show you some cool stuff. Do you see that I can see the subdivisions here? Now we're going to use the map and we're going to come in a little closer. Okay. And we're going to talk about the layers on the map. You see the layers here? Now, sometimes someone is looking in the map and I'm going to zoom in. Okay. You know, as you see the subdivision even further, correct? And I can use the layers here and I can see a zip code. We're going to zoom out a little to see if it'll mark the zip code for me so I can see it. Now, do I need to know everything or do I need to know how to find things? So this is 33073, 33067, 333442. Do you see? Layer for zip code. I'm going to remove the zip code and we're going to click on city, click on that and come out of it and click so I can see it. Coconut Creek, Parkland, Coral Springs, Deerfield Beach. Mara, I'm going to do the next thing. I'm on the map. I click on the little layers, right? I'm in boundaries. I've done zip code and city, and I'm going to click county. Now here I'm at a different county line because what counties appear? This is Broward. And if I scroll out, what do I see?
Palm Beach.
And here's Miami-Dade. I just like to show, and here's Palm Beach. Do you like? Very good. And here's my little section that we're looking in. Okay, layer again, school districts, and those tend to be what? County lines as well, correct? And then next, elementary school. Now, are these always exact? No, you still need to use the address and go to the county school and see which one. But if I was trying to go to Tradewinds, I could do an outline here, and these homes would most probably go where? Tradewinds. Do you like that? This is Quiet Waters Elementary. I'm supposing that's by Quiet Waters Park, which is so pretty. You like? I do. I like that it talks to you, because do we need to know everything, or do we need to know where to find everything? It's about efficiency, right? Middle schools. Okay, you can open up a little bigger because middle schools cover a little more area. And did everyone know about these layers? Some of you are learning something new. Anyone learn one new thing? It does not show private schools. Private schools do not have boundaries, but we can look for schools, but this is public schools. And I don't want to say you're welcome. It's my pleasure. It's what I wake up to do. High school. So when someone tells you, I'd like, I can show you how to find Heather schools, private schools. There's different ways. You can look at it in RPR. You will be able to look at it on this map. You will be able to use the ed guide. So take a working with buyers and sellers class, take an RP, but this is the boundaries for the public schools. You can do that, Valeria, and RPR in the rankings in RPR. You can do that in ed guide school, edguidesf.com. Okay, but do you like this? Because this will let you see what? The school boundary lines. Next. Okay, I'm going to remove those, and we're going to look at MLS statuses. Now, this isn't you searching. Now, notice that it's telling me in red that I have to zoom in. I'm zoomed too far out. So I'm going to zoom in, and we'll see now if it allows me. I have to zoom in further. We'll see now if it allows me further. And I'm going to push to the area where we have home so that we can see it. And I want to see, let's see, closed in the last 3 months in that area. And I'm going to let that map work. These properties with the little dots on them closed in the last 3 months. What am I doing here? I'm seeing recent activity. This is for me. There is movement in this area. Okay. Let me see if there's rentals. So if this person tries to buy to rent, there's a couple of rentals, right? Okay, that's MLS status. Now tax data, tax sales that have occurred in the last year in this area. Now that takes a little while to pull, but here we go. Okay, you see them? Distressed properties, if there's any, let's say pre-foreclosures, REOs. Parcel characteristics. Rentals are not all in the MLS. And sales, there could be for sale by owner. And you wouldn't see those in the multiple listing service. But sales with the tax data, you can see non-MLS sales here. Does that make sense? But rentals, they don't have to be disclosed. The rentals that you see in the multiple listing service occur with realtors. Okay, But when you do see activity, it means there is plenty. Good question. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look at parcel characteristics. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can use this to your favor. So I'm going to move it here so I can show you parcel characteristics. And I'm going to zoom in a little further. We're going to look at these communities here, right? Let me click out. I don't want to look at the access road. I want to look into here. And I'm going to click on lot area. And I want to show you this. Now I'm going to zoom in further one more time so that you can see that it gives you the lot area. Now, what am I doing with this? This is really for me, right? All sales would be through a tax service, but you can see all sales by doing a combination of the tax data. And that's why you do a CMA. Okay, Charmaine? But I don't want to take away from what I'm trying to show you here. Got it? Which is these parcel characteristics, because these are a key element of you knowing your area. When you know your area to this degree, it's amazing. Why? What is this telling you here? The parcelization, and you can see how similar or not. Okay. Next, what's an APN number? What's an APN number? The folio number. Assessor's parcel number. So it is right. Very good. Which is the same as the tax ID number, correct? So here you get all the tax IDs for the community. We can then look at beds and baths. Let's give it a minute. Now, why would we want to know beds and baths? Anyone? To compare, to know the area, to know what's common in an area, to say, okay, this is the typical home. This is the cookie cutter, the comps, but also because I want to know everything about the real estate in my area. Oh, this one has more land. This one doesn't. These are all the same. It's about knowing. And the more you know, the easier it is to talk about the property, isn't it? That's why. Watch. Other layer, building area. So this is what's built. And these are always neat. And this is a pull from tax data, so it takes a little bit, okay? Now, why would you want to know this again? Because I want to know the information on my community, because I want to be able to talk about it. These homes have this much square footage. They have this much under AC. They were built in this year. It's interesting. Now look at this one, owner name. How many of you walk around your neighborhood? Anybody walk? Good, Lorenzo. I hope to someday. Best way to know your area is to walk it. And now you have names. Yes, I love to learn new stuff. You see, and this is now another way for you to learn. And now the addresses. So this is 5024 Ibis. And this is 6516 Ibis Way. Yes, you need to know everything. So this is a way to get to know what? Your area. Now, trends. This you'd zoom out for, and that was boundaries. So I'm going to zoom out for here. And here we have median sale prices, and this is what has occurred in the last year, median sale prices, okay? Median sale prices. All right. I'm going to click layer again. Sale activity. Layer. Trends. Median square foot cost. Now, this is for a huge area. This is just for us to have a notion or idea. This is not a comparable. This is not how you set pricing. This is to have like an understanding, an overview. Okay. Now I'm going to click next, points of interest. And it's telling me to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to try to come to an intersection and remove, let me clear stuff for all. And here, I wanted you to see that they have education. And remember, some of you were asking me for private schools. Well, they would show up here on education. Does that make sense? All righty. But that doesn't mean they're all going to show. Okay, because they would have to, but here you have a school. Colegio Susi, which is probably like a preschool. Okay. So you could select banking, arts, fire and police, food and dining, gas station, healthcare, library, post office, religious organization, shopping, sports, transportation. I selected them all. Okay, I'm going to come back up and remove that. But I wanted you to see that you can select points of interest. So we have a gas station here, a Chevron, a place to eat. Okay. We have a Publix pharmacy, a bank, Eric, we have a wonderful tool, Remind, that would help you see that. Does that make sense? And another way for you to see it, which is why I try so hard to show you. You notice how we're looking at this and it doesn't tell you much? You see how this doesn't tell you much? Now watch. If I switch the map to satellite or to right, and I zoomed in, okay. These are the properties of interest, correct? Obviously, this is a what? Oh, this is because it didn't eliminate from the layer. And it still had the point of interest, so it was showing a trend. This one here. It's just matrix being quirky. Alrighty, because that's a data pull, so it takes a while for it to eliminate. But you see here, you can see what there is, like if you would zoom in. So this is showing as healthy spot evolution. And if I did parcel characterization, let's see, APN number, just to be curious, right? Let me switch to map. You could see the different numbers here. Let me go ahead and clear all. That could be a park or a baseball field or the back of a school. That's why knowing your area is so important. And that's why I teach you to switch the map to a satellite view, depending on what you're doing. So I'm going to come back to that area that we had here, and I'm going to zoom in. because I want you to see, notice how this is the one that's for sale or under contract. If I clicked over on one of these, let me see if it'll let me do it. If I do the parcelization, I'm going to come on layer, right? And we're going to do lot area. Okay, and we'll see if it'll let me do it now. Let me refresh. Zoom in. And notice here that I click on a property and it'll tell me 1 bedroom, 1 bath. That's what I wanted to do. And then I have another property here. And here I'm trying to answer you, Eric. Notice here that it'll tell you warehouse. I had to refresh. Food for the Poor, Inc. Let's move. City of Coconut Creek. So you could use the information here to get more detail on what's around the property. Did I answer you? So I refreshed so that I could see the layers and you can see what's available. So this one is for sale. I can click on the next one. Okay, I can click on the next one and get the detail. Did I answer you, Eric? Alrighty, I'm not seeing if Eric saw or not. That's okay. Alrighty, so this is all that you can do on the map and more. The other thing that I want you to know is how many of you, when you look at the map like this, are not sure of the communities? But Eric, I do invite you to take a Remind class, because in Remind, there's layers that it will tell you if these areas zoned around are public, private, commercial, what they're zoned to be. And that may be more what you're looking for. You need to take a Remind Pro class. Everybody does. You get it for free. It has all of the MLS data, all of the tax data. You could do prospecting and farming with. Everybody needs to take a class of those. It's just amazing. Now, how many of you know the area? Who was it? It was Charmaine, right? That was that had asked me to check here. Remind Pro. Charmaine, you were the one that wanted here, correct? Watch. But if I switch to satellite, don't you start to like recognize the treetops and the street and the park, right? And you'll know what's a mall and what's located where. That's why when you're working here, sometimes when it's for you and you want to know if it's community-based, it's a really good idea to switch to satellite when you're working on the map. Because what if your customer really wanted to live here? You want to mark it off, you can. You want to mark this off, you can. Now, you wanted to have a single family home, right, in this area, and we found it. So I'm going to come back now to results. And I want to talk to you about the grid. You can personalize the grid and make it yours. Did you know that? Now we have 31 items here. What happens if I wanted to see some sales too? I could always toggle back to criteria and mark some closed items. Alrighty. Then I could come back to results and I could personalize. What if I wanted to know the listing price per square foot? What if I wanted to know sale price per square foot? What if I love the subdivision, but I didn't want it here? What if here I wanted square footage and I wanted to move this over to the other side? Well, when my hand, the little hand shows, do you see with little hand shows? That's actually to organize it, right? I can use that for listing price to make it from less to more, right? And if I see the crossroads appear, do you see the little crossroads? Like this, that will let me drag and I can put it wherever I want. Notice here, I can do that same thing for square footage. If the little hand appears, that's organizing it by square footage. But if the crossroads appear, I can then drag it to where I like it. What if I wanted to add a column? I could then click into here, right? When the crossroads appear, and I could insert a column. So I wanted price per square foot, right? For the listing price, I click, insert, and I can search by scrolling up and down or click in the search area and type it in. So I want listing price per square foot, which is this one. So I select it and I click apply. Now, what if I want the price per square foot for sale price to show up here? Marcella, I may be answering you, so I want you to watch. So next to listing price, what do I want to do? Click, and I want to insert. And I want to search price. And this time I want to put sale price per square foot, select it, and click apply. What would I want the listing agent name? I want to scroll, and next to type, I want the crossroad to appear, and I want to insert, and I want to put listing agent name and click apply. So now this is my perfect grid according to me. I've created it, and every time I do an RE1, RE2 search, a search for single family condo, townhouse, or villa, I want it to appear. Okay, so you see the little paper and pencil here? This is the manage display. I'm going to click in it and I'm going to name it. And I'm going to save it as a copy. And now I have a perfect grid. And if I'd like to, I could click the gear and I could save it as my default. So every time I did an RE1, RE2, if I save it as my default, it would automatically show up as my grid. What exactly would you want me to do, Pedro? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to come back over and I'm going to delete. So if I organize it, if I click when the hand appears, it'll do it in order. But if I want to delete, add, insert, I need the crossroads to appear. You see it? I click in it. And this time what I want to do is remove the column. I removed that one. Now, what I want to do is come over and let's say I want to remove the price per square foot. I wait for the crossroads to appear, click, remove column. Now I want to update my grid because I've made changes. I click the manage display and I save my changes. I remove the price per square foot, sale price. How do I add it? Well, I have the listing price per square foot here next to listing price. So I want the price per square foot sale price here. So I select next to listing price, insert, I search, I cheat because I know, and you will know too. And here I have the sale price per square foot. I select it. I click apply. Now it's been added. And to save it, I click my display and I click save changes. Now, when we start to learn this, and I always lose everyone at this point in the class because everybody starts to play with the grid, and I'm about to show you how to use your contact manager and how to update and stop saving or delete or do auto email. So be mindful that you'll be able to see this in the video, but wait. People will start to create 1,000 grids like the instructor has done. So, oops, Connie, I need to delete a grid. I can come into here and select any of my grids that I've done, And if I no longer use it, I select it and I can click the display manager and delete. Mark OK. Let me show you one more time. I can select any of the ones that I may have selected, right? And delete. Select, delete. Okay. All right. Now, I was doing a search for Charmaine and I got distracted because I was showing you the grid. So I need to save it for her.
It's exciting.
Save it for her and do a new auto email. And her customer is Andres, Andy. And I believe he's here because I've saved him. Once you add your customer, they're here. Should you add your customer? Yes. Should you do auto emails to yourself? No, not unless they're for you. Why should you do them for your customer? So you have a history of what you've done with your customer. Customers in the MLS, in Matrix, are yours. Nobody else sees them. Subject line. For you in 3073. I think that was the zip code. Just homes? No. Single family. Who is that subject line for? Is it for Andres's memory or for my memory? Or for both? For both, because I need to remember. Welcome, the information, my beautiful signature, details. I can select ASAP, save. Now, we've saved, we've done the grid. I know I lost some of you already because you're playing. Where do I find my auto emails? You can find your auto emails in 2 locations. Under my matrix, under auto email. Connie, I'm working on something. I don't remember who I last sent to. Well, that would be in a different place, but look, we have single family homes right here to your customer. Mara, the classes are in order: 101, 201, 301, 401, 501. 501 is to stay out of trouble. 401 is about add, edit, listing maintenance. 301 is about doing a CMA and getting statistics. 401, though it's about add, edit, and listing maintenance, it really teaches you how to learn how to search deeper into the system. And all of us want to be listing agents if you're not already, so it's a great class. Alrighty, so you see the search here. This is where the auto email is. If I click next to it, I can see the settings. I can see the criteria. I can see results. I can see the last time I went. I can delete it. I can resend the welcome. So if they're saying they're not getting it, I can always come and click resend. I don't know who I'm sending it to. I can look at the settings, right? And I can see the email. They tell you they're no longer interested for right now because they're looking for something else, or they've had a life change, or they've already purchased with you. You come into those settings and you scroll down and you can disable it and click into save. Why would you disable and not delete, Connie? Because when I go into my contact, I want to be able to see what I did for that person. Now let's think about this a little bit. I disabled it for them. They call me back in 3 months and they say, we're ready to search again. We want in that same area. Are you going to remember exactly what they told you in the search you did for them? Are you?
Probably no.
So the efficient thing would make the system work for you, correct? That's why you don't delete. So you would come back here into my matrix or auto email or your contact and go, I saved that for Andres. Let me see, last use. Okay, right here. Let me look. Auto emails. This wasn't about the South Beach. That's the one that I disabled. I can click into here, right? Here's the criteria. Yeah, this is the property. All I have to do is then go to what? If I had deleted it, it wouldn't be in there at all. Since I disabled it, I still have my search. And all I have to do is go to settings and enable it and click save. Do you like? So auto emails are in two places. My matrix auto emails. These are the ones that have been disabled. These are the ones that are sent. And of course, I only teach. So when they are opened by the customer, they're completely in green. They are also under my matrix under contacts, where your contacts are available. You can see their last use. You can see the last time you put them into the system. You can look at your customer information by clicking in it. You can see any activity. You can also come into this area for contacts. And in this area, you can add a contact, first name, last name, email address, the same way we did when we were sending the information. Or you can come to my matrix contacts, click on add and import your contacts. You can choose an existing file, a CSV file, and import your contacts. So we went over everything that we needed to go over today. I hope you had as much fun as I did. What did we do today? We came into the system, we did a search, RE1, RE2, and we went into the map. We first did it on the beach, and I showed you to jump to an address. No, there's not a way to share directly from Matrix to WhatsApp, but I have shown you that there is a couple of things to see here. If you come into miamirealtors.com/MLS, we have a video on the very top on a workaround for you to be able to see. So you might want to peek at that one. Good question. It was my pleasure to be with you this morning. I talked about one home in the first one, and that's where you do most of the one home learning. Remember, we reviewed Marcella? Next thing I want to remind you is some of you asked me about the training. We have a YouTube channel and we also have Miami Realtors Live. And here on the YouTube channel, you'll see that there's Matrix X. Let me come up here. Let me go back. YouTube.com into the playlist. And if there is Matrix X here, let me type in. Okay. Trying to see if there's a playlist I could show you. So in the playlist area, you'll be able to come in and see, and there'll be here Matrix X with one home. There's already a whole series of them here, but I will upload the recording by the end of the week. Let me go ahead and send a message to all of you with a link. And then one of you was asking about vouchers and Section 8. So I promised that I would give you information on that. And when you log into your Miami Gateway, you have access here to Miami Realtors Live. I try to remember everything. And here you go in Miami Realtors Live, and on the very top, these are recordings not only done by your Miami trainers, because you have, but you can search a video up here and you can type Section 8 on the very top, because I can't share this video link with you. And you see there's two. This first one up here, Caprice, oof, teaches you about how you can do it. Alrighty. So again, the gateway, Miami Realtors Live, and on the very top, put section 8, and you'll find this video. I'll copy the name of the class. It was my pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much for being Miami members, for being with us. I hope I get to help you. I hope that more than anything, I give you the spirit and the desire to click and do more. It's a pleasure. Looking forward to having you for the rest of this series. And I hope that I give you energy to continue on. Thank you so much for being with us. Remember, I do the third part next Monday. Take care. Super excited. Me too.